Mulan is a 2020 American fantasy action drama film produced by Walt Disney Pictures. Directed by Nikki Caro from a screenplay by Rick Jaffa, Amanda Silver, Lauren Hynek, and Elizabeth Martin. It is a live-action adaptation of Walt Disney Animation Studios' 1998 film of the same name, itself based on the Chinese folklore story ballad of Mulan. The film stars Yifei Liu in the title role, alongside Donnie Yen, Tizima, Jason Scott Lee, Yosanan, Ron Yuan, Gong Li, and Jet Li in supporting roles. The plot takes place in Imperial China, where Hua Mulan, the eldest daughter of an honored warrior, masquerades as a man to take her ailing father's place during a general conscription to counter the Roran army. Plans for a live-action remake began in 2010, but the project stalled in development hell for most of the decade. Filming took place in New Zealand and China from August to November 2018. Over the course of production, the film was the subject of several controversies, including changes to the source material and filming in Xinjiang in light of the Uyghur genocide and Xinjiang internment camps. The film also received criticism for its production team largely consisting of white people, such as the hiring of Caro, rather than an Asian director. Mulan held its world premiere at the Dolby Theatre in Hollywood on March 9, 2020. The film was originally scheduled for a wide theatrical release later that month but was canceled in the United States after being delayed several times due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Subsequently, the film was released on September 4, 2020, by Disney Plus for a premium fee in countries where the service had launched. The film had a traditional theatrical release in countries without Disney Plus where theaters had reopened, due to its overall limited theatrical release as a result of the pandemic. However, the film grossed just under $70 million against a production budget of $200 million. The film received generally positive reviews from Western critics, who praised the action sequences, costumes, and performances, but was criticized for the screenplay and editing. It received less favorable reviews from fans of the original and Chinese critics, who criticized the character development, its cultural and historical inaccuracies, and the depiction of Chinese people. At the 93rd Academy Awards and 26th Critics' Choice Awards, the film received nominations for its costume design and visual effects, as well as a Best Special Visual Effects nod at the 74th British Academy Film Awards. What happens in the film? In Imperial China, Hua Mulan is an adventurous and active girl, to the disappointment of her parents Zhu and Li, who hope that one day she will be wed to a good husband. As a young woman, Mulan is arranged to meet with a matchmaker to demonstrate her fitness as a future wife. Mulan, flustered, attempts to pour tea in front of the matchmaker, but a spider scares the former's younger sister Zhu, accidentally causing a mishap that destroys the teapot, leading the matchmaker to call her a disgrace in front of her family. To the north, an imperial outpost is invaded by Roran warriors, under the leadership of Bori Khan. They are assisted by the witch Xianyang, who uses her magic to pose as a surviving soldier and report the attack to the Emperor of China. He then issues a conscription decree ordering every family to contribute one man to fight Khan's forces. Imperial soldiers arrive in Mulan's village to enlist recruits, and Zhu is forced to pledge his service as he has no sons, immediately falling over in front of the soldiers due to his crippled leg. Realizing that her father has no chance of survival, Mulan flees with his armor, horse, and sword to join in his place. Mulan arrives at the training camp, which is run by Commander Tung, an old comrade of Zhu. Alongside dozens of other inexperienced recruits, she ultimately becomes a trained soldier under his tutelage without exposing her true identity. The Khan's army continues to advance, forcing Tung to end training early and send his battalion to fight. Mulan chases some troops on her own but is confronted by Xianyang, who mocks her for pretending to be a man. She attempts to kill Mulan, but her attacks are stopped by the leather with which Mulan's chest had been bound to hide her identity. Mulan removes her male disguise, returning to the battle just as the Rorans begin attacking her fellow troops with a trebuchet. Mulan uses discarded helmets and her archery skills to maneuver the trebuchet into firing on a snowy mountain, triggering an avalanche that buries the Rorans. Mulan rides back to camp and rescues Chen Hongwei, a soldier she befriended in camp. Unable to hide her true gender any longer, she is expelled from the army and begins her return home. On her way, she is confronted by Xianyang, who reveals that she was also shunned by her people and fights for Bori Khan only because he treats her as an equal and that no one else does. Additionally, she reveals that the attacks on the outposts have been a diversion, as Khan's true plan is to capture and execute the emperor for having his father killed. Risking execution, Mulan returns to her battalion to warn them of the impending capture. The soldiers she befriended stand up for her, and Tung decides to believe her and allows her to lead a unit to the Emperor's palace. Xianying uses her magic to be in the image of the Imperial Chancellor, and persuades the Emperor to accept Borikhan's challenge to single combat while removing the city guards from their posts. The guards are murdered, and the Rurans prepare to burn the Emperor alive. Mulan's unit distracts the Rurans while Mulan goes to save the Emperor. Khan tries to snipe her with an arrow, but Xianying, sympathetic to Mulan and disenchanted from Khan, transforms into an eagle and sacrifices herself by intercepting the arrow. Mulan kills Khan, but not before he disarms her and destroys her father's sword. She frees the Emperor, who offers to let her join his personal guard. She declines the offer and returns to her village. Mulan is reunited with her family. An emissary from the Emperor, under the leadership of Commander Tung, arrives to present Mulan with a new sword. While making a personal request that she join the Imperial Army as an officer,